Alright, I'm going to start this video where I ended yesterday, and contained in this trash bag is a very large poison ivy vine that I extracted from the hedges. It smacked me so many places as I was working it into this bag that I had to stop, go in, take a shower, change all my clothes, and treat them all as if they were contaminated. But moving on. The garden is in what I'll call an initial state for the spring. I'll quickly go over what we've got here. This box here is grapevines that I've been growing and cloning, collecting over the last couple of years. The biggest ones will probably be going out into the orchard on the ridge this December. Now this next box up is an assortment. It has basil and lettuce. It has some, what are they, red pines and some pin oaks. There's some lilac and some red bud that aren't waking up yet. The next one up has spruce and chestnut. Chestnut is for the chestnut grove my wife wants to put in. And again, more of the spruce trees. These will be the border between the ridge property and the adjoining property. These are German butterballs, and it looks like a dog has come to visit. Oh, bother. Well, these German butterballs are my wife's favorites, and I've got some weeding to do, but they're doing nicely. Well, a week ago, I was harvesting compost from this compost pile, and now it has been completely rebuilt to the size it was last year. Here, I have an English walnut that I'm trying to give it a fighting chance to survive amongst all these hedges. I did cut down all the pivot hedge, leaving only the Rose of Sharon, so maybe that'll give the walnut enough sunlight for it to give it a go. This is another English walnut, the one that I pruned heavily this winter to get it shaped up. It is well balanced at this point, and I might keep it with the exception of cutting out some branches here that are interfering with the two sides to open it up in the center, but it might end up being a double trunk tree. These are my berry bushes. First, the blackberries that are starting to flower. Hopefully they'll be setting fruit. And then down amongst all that high grass is my raspberries. The rest of the garden has been cleaned up, planted, and initialized. I'll look at them quickly. These are red potatoes. They're always the first to come up. Next to them is a box of apple trees, some of which are flowering, and I'm surprised because I've never had new apple trees flower before. In this box here we have pawpaw, where there's only one of them that actually looks like it's got any growth on it. We've got more grass growing than we do pawpaw. These are fingerling potatoes. They're doing nicely. I can help them out with a quick weed, but pretty soon they'll be taking care of weeds themselves. These are the purple Viking potatoes. They're coming up from what I left in the ground last year. And you can tell where I was harvesting for our dinner from last year is in that corner. In this box here, we have sugar maples. They're intended to replace some Norway maples that we've got growing on the ridge. Next box down has elderberry. And they're all doing well with the exception of one, but they gave us an extra one, so we ended up with 10 in the end anyway. In this box here is where the Kennebec potatoes are growing. And then I can swing around and take a look at the base of my shed where some of the strawberries are coming back. I didn't mulch them over during the winter, and we've learned that now it's really a good idea to mulch them over. Otherwise we'd have less bare spots. In this box here is the last one I've really got to clean up. It's got a lot of Egyptian walking onions growing in it. If it looks like an animal's been getting at them, yeah, that animal is me. I've been sharing the onions with the neighbors, trying to get them to try growing them as well. In this box we're looking at common persimmon on this side and serviceberry on the other side. This box here has the shallots that I'm letting go to seed, and as you can see, they're starting to do that. The intent is to get these seeds for shallots that I can grow from my own. Half of the box, the far half, is planted with shallots. The near half is planted with garlic. Now, moving down to the next box. Here we have my last year's experiment with propagating Egyptian walking onions. And here it is, what are we, May 12th. And they're already starting to develop pops or bulbils or bulbets, whatever they're called. The rest of the box is mainly chestnut trees that are going as part of that chestnut grove I mentioned a little bit ago. Now in this box we've got yellow onions, and in this one here we have white onions. And I don't have a lot of hopes for the white onions. They seem pretty aged, but I put them in because I had them. Now in this box here I have my volunteer tomatoes that spring up from last year's fallen fruit. And seeing this box hadn't been spoken for after I cleaned it up, I figured might as well put tomatoes in. The next box over is all red onions with the red bulbs that I left from last year. Again, they're going to seed. Well, hopefully they'll go to seed. We can see their developing scapes. And this is where I found the volunteer tomato plants that got transferred over. So, with that having been said, I suppose I'll stop this video and thank you for watching.